Hi guys, something that I shared today on Facebook was pretty well received and felt important enough to want to get on here and share it. So if you are not currently following my Facebook, check me out, Stacy Hoch on Facebook, STACYHOCH. That is the place that I write, and writing is more my jam than anything else. So check me out there because that's where you're going to get my guts in your hands if you actually like my work. So today what I shared was shared by enough people at this point to make me feel like it's important to bring it here, which was my daughter was in the middle of a meltdown. I know a lot of parents right now who are becoming acquainted with their children who they normally leave for hours upon hours a day, and they don't necessarily know their rhythms between the hours of after breakfast or even before breakfast and before lunch. They are very astute to the rhythms of what the routine looks like after dinner and to go to bed and things like that. But the in-between has been hard on people. And I know that a lot of people are feeling forced to face their children and go like, oh my God, who the hell is this child? And how do I be a parent to this child right now? So if you're one of those parents, I just want to reach out to you. And even if you're doing that to yourself, your own inner child who's kind of like having a meltdown right now, so much of my work is about reparenting the self. And this, I'm so blessed to be able to have physical children, to be able to use this for as a practice. So my daughter is 4 years old, was having a really obnoxious meltdown today. And I was watching her from her back, tight like this. And we told her that she had to leave if she was going to keep bugging out because it was just absurd. And she went like this and she said, I can't move. And Chris, in a very punitive and assuming way, was like, what do you mean you can't move, right? This, while she's sobbing and screaming, looked like defiance. Any logical person would look at this and say, like, this kid's an asshole, this kid's defiant, right? But what she didn't have the tools to articulate was what was going on for her was a legitimate fear response. Doesn't matter why her fear showed up, it did. It was a legitimate fear response. And she froze. And she didn't have the language to say, hey, I know you're telling me to do something right now, but, and I like really want to please you, but my nervous system is hijacking any resources to my faculties that I have, and I'm actually paralyzed right now because I'm a freeze responder. So I said, when he said, why can't you move? I just looked at him and I said, she's scared. And he invited her onto his lap, and she went through the whole cycle of emotion until she reached the other side of it. And she softened. And that whole process took about 5 minutes. And had it been handled differently, I just wanted to go down a little bit of this rabbit hole. Somebody who would have handled that situation differently her experience might be that, and this might be your experience if you have struggles with authority and genuinely trying to please people, that she was trying to initiate and motivate to please and to follow command, but she physically was frozen. She couldn't do it. And that looks like defiance. But for her, it was a literal reality. And if we didn't allow her the safety to soften through that process, somebody else in her shoes might never feel safe enough to initiate after that. Everything they do is going to feel like, oh my God, I just can't do it. I know they're telling me to do it, but I'm freezing. And every time they tell me to do something now, I associate with this moment of fear and freeze. And there's just no way to understand, right? And she's blessed because I've been blessed to stay at home with my kids as much as possible. So she's blessed that I know her rhythms ins and outs. So there was no lag time between me noticing her bodily posture and what she was verbalizing, able to verbalize. Most kids, to be fair, even in that situation, wouldn't be able to verbalize, I can't move. They would just sit there crying, and their parent would likely start screaming at them for screaming, and then they would punish them. And what I said in this little blurb today was that maybe that desire to punish them is actually our fear response, because we feel out of control. Right? We feel out of control of them. We feel out of control of what's going on. We feel out of control of being out of control. So if you are somebody like this today who is going, oh my God, how do I deal with this kid? They are in a new rhythm too. Here's the fun thing is like everybody who is struggling right now to deal with their children also very likely wanted a vacation. and this is the vacation, right? This is the vacation. So their kids are going, oh my God, I won the lottery. I get my parent all to myself. They're not working. Oh my God, this is amazing. And the parent is like, I'm so stressed out. I don't know what to do. And the kids are going, well, why would you be stressed out? Look, we got everything we wanted. We're together, right? Like, to the child, the parent is the child's world. And they just want to be important enough that their world exists too, that we care enough about their world, that they feel as important to us as we feel they feel that we are to them. Okay, so awareness to the rhythms of your child are needed, right? And most of us don't have the tools or the sense of safety cultivated to even know that when she says I can't move, it's literally not defiance. And there might be parents out there who would be like, yeah, well, she needs to suck it up. This is life, right? This is fear. Get over it. Get in there and do the shit I asked you to do. And there's that, right? But that doesn't work. It actually just stifles all of us. And we have perpetuated culturally that the action of doing that so much that we think that that's the only way to do it, but it's not the only way to do it. So I want to say you're a gift to your children. And this time is a gift to us. And I know a lot of us are closing and contracting and going, oh my God, where's the money? Where's the time? Where's the me in this? Holy shit, what's going on here? And then on top of that, there's this kid having needs or screaming at me or something that's making me super uncomfortable. There is a way to find balance, and it is in the recognition that you are a gift to this child. And you might feel like they're a big pain in the ass. I don't want to give them shit. I've given them everything. Oh my God, I go to work for them every day. Now they're needing me to do something here emotionally for them, whatever it is. You're a gift to them because they chose you. And on a soul contract level, you chose them before you even got to be a gift for them. And now is your time to open. So many parents want to just like be such good parents that they make it all about their children. It's not what I'm asking you to do either. What I'm asking you to do is actually be you with your children. Like, not acquiesce and be fake and be weird and be like, oh my God, let me just totally only be available to her. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you know the rhythms of your children and you really acquaint with them intimately, those moments will take 5 minutes that if aren't handled in 5 minutes will take lifetimes of resentment, of anger, and of misplaced separation, and weird dependencies, because our children, if they don't feel like we teach them anything, we're just punishing them and reprimanding them and pushing them through. I was one of these kids where I was like, I literally don't know anything. Like, I don't know anything because everything I try to do to self-initiate, I'm getting punished for, so I can't do that. And that means I don't know how to do anything. And then I punish myself every time I try to do something new, and then I just give up or whatever. So these tendencies of, to just say, like, just do what I ask and not have the emotional experience, and this is ridiculous. Our kids don't understand why we're afraid. It doesn't matter if they shouldn't be afraid when we're asking them to do a stupid task, right? It's like, well, why is she afraid? Chris is like, well, why can't she move? Why is she afraid? It doesn't matter why she's afraid. She's afraid. She's having a fear response that she can't control, nor can you, and you're trying to control it is the problem. So I wanted to pop on here today and say, despite the fact that it looked like defiance, it was actually a fear response. So if we are, as a collective, continuing to look at our children like, oh, they're just being a defiant asshole, right? Like, kids can be seriously assholes, but they're not inherently assholes usually. And they come to believe that they're assholes by the way that we treat them like they're assholes. And it's moments like these where we can go, oh, that doesn't make sense. That fear response is real. She's having that response. She's freezing. She's not in fear. She's not in harm, but something about this feels harmful to her. And it's not making her what do they call them? Snowflake. We're not making her a snowflake. We are legitimately recognizing, whoa, she's having a real, and I'm not saying like all of the time this is going to happen. Sure, your kid can manipulate you when you get down the rabbit hole, like down to some other place in the root, but you have to know the ebbs and flows of your children and know them actually. And if it's a matter of, whoa, actually, I can see by her body language, even though it doesn't make sense that she's afraid, she's having a fear response, and honoring that and creating a safety for her to soften in that instead of feel like, oh my God, that's life and I can't move and they're asking me to move when I can't. Giving that person the space to actually just go through the experience of being afraid and settling into the softness of being safe after they've been afraid. Most of us are just like afraid persistently, and we haven't had that lap to fall into. So letting them go through the entire experience of like, okay, she's having a meltdown. She's also not being able to do what I asked because she's afraid that I'm mad, or that she can't stop herself and she should be able to control herself because she's 4 or whatever. There's so many reasons why a kid could freeze and go, oh my God, I don't know if I'm capable, right? They're not inherently assholes, okay? So I just want you to remember that you are a gift to this child. Stay open to them. Stay open to them, because they're not actually trying to defy us. They're really not. They're trying to please us. And a lot of times, for whatever reason, based on their constitution, they have responses in their physical bodies that put them in situations where they're going to fight you and they can't even stop it, or they're going to freeze. Or they're going to just like totally acquiesce to you, which is what a lot of people here do. But we also, I think, even a fawn type personality in complex PTSD would first have to be a freezer to even learn that the escape from the freeze response is a fawn response, and to override the emotional charge into an actual intellectual charge by like fawning, we would first have to be a freezer type. So, or they're going to leave. They're just going to fight, whatever. Okay, so there's the freeze response, fight response, whatever, all of those types. But I just want you to recognize that they're real. And no amount of like intellectual processing is going to help serve and soften that physical, biological, nervous system response. So just be aware that when your kid feels like they're being a total asshole, their nervous system is very likely on fire. Okay? And if you can rest in that awareness and go, oh, actually their nervous system is attached to mine and them feeling on fire makes me feel very fiery and I want to control it. You don't have to control it. Now's the time to just be open. Be open. Okay? Bye, guys.